Okay, hello everyone. Today we continue with this day number 3 of this new Certified Developers Bootcamp. And as every day, we give the space to Isaac to continue with this certification. So, hi, Isaac, how are you?
Hello everyone. I'm fine, thank you. And fewer and fewer people every day. I really hope everyone else is at least watching the video. So we're gonna do our best to continue these sessions. But thank you so much for the folks that are attending this session. And we're gonna start with this. Let me just start sharing my screen. Okay, yeah. Well, like you can say, welcome to new certified developer. This is the third day, so congratulations. You're halfway there. We're almost done with this program. Well, technically, tomorrow is the last day, but yeah. Well, I know that you guys don't like to speak a lot, so but I really want to know how are you doing? How are your proposals going? Is there anything preventing you from working? You have any questions? You have any ideas? So how are you guys doing with your proposals? So if anybody wants to share with us, or should I point to someone to tell us to share with us that? Mm, okay, I'm gonna try to make someone talk then. Justice, how are you doing? How's your proposal going? Hello, Justice.
Yes, hello, I'm fine.
Great.
Yes, yes, I was familiarizing with the protocols.
Mhm.
Okay, and I think by the end of today, I'll be starting to work on it now in detail.
Okay, that's great to hear. I'm glad you want to share with us if you have any ideas on what are you going to work on, like what's your contract gonna be about?
Okay, currently I've got a couple of ideas, but I think by tomorrow I'll settle on one, so I can't affirmatively state that this is what I want to work with it. So I was coming to terms to familiarize with the language, the
Mhm.
near language of developing the contract.
Mhm.
So by tomorrow, this time I shall give you a affirmative answer.
Okay, cool, Justice. Thank you so much. Remember, guys, tomorrow is the last day. Well, tomorrow is the last day you can actually work on your proposal. Well, I guess you can work on Fridays because of your time zone. But yeah, but mostly tomorrow is the last day. I'm gonna be available here on sessions for you guys to ask away your questions. So please seize this opportunity and ask if you have any questions. If you have no idea of what are you going to do, that's also valid. But yeah, guys, take this chance. Let's see someone else. Well, I remember Cynthia, you also speak English, so can you share with us how's your proposal going, Cynthia?
Oh, yes. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Okay. For me, I have a question.
Mhm.
For me, I am already near certified. So maybe if I talk about the project that I did,
Yeah,
it
maybe
was
that will inspire everyone here on the session.
it was a game. It was more of a game where okay, this game let's say we have a mouse and holes. So my idea was a user has to guess from which hole the mouse will come from. And basically that was my contract. Like my contract was all about that. Thank
That's,
you.
thank you so much, Cynthia. Like, yeah, you can see, guys, that's like maybe a simple enough idea, but you can actually make a whole contract about it. And well, Cynthia got certified with that contract. So like, as you can see, you don't have to actually make a super project and release a token and something like that. No, we just need to program him here. So with a simple idea, you can make a whole contract. So thank you so much, Cynthia, for sharing that with us. I didn't know you were already certified, so wow, that's cool. At least we got the inspiration from you. Okay, let's keep going. Someone else. Okay, I can see Michael Duati. I hope I pronouncing that name right. Michael, Michael, can you share with us how's your proposal going?
Yeah. Hi, Isaac. So for me, I'm still sticking with what I talked about yesterday. So I've started on the donation contract. Far so good. At the time I was trying to learn the JS API because I feel I'm more comfortable with that.
Okay.
And then basically, I'm just dealing with the donation contract to enable people to get the amount of money that they want to donate and transfer to a certain account to a different account. Simple as that.
Okay. Actually, if you have any problems with that, well, today's class is going to be more about code, and tomorrow's class is going to be about deploying a contract. So maybe by tomorrow might be a bit late for the project, but yeah, I will teach you how to deploy contracts on different accounts and all of this stuff. So you guys are going to have everything to get certified here. That's at least what I'm trying to do with these sessions, right? So, well, thank you so much, Michael, for sharing that with us. Okay. Anybody else that wants to talk with us, that wants to speak? Okay. Caroline Dinda. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Can you share with us? Oh, Caroline, are you here with us? Can you hear us? Shendrak, hello, Shendrak. You want to share with us how's your project going?
Sorry, how are you?
Can you hear us, Shendrak?
Oh, I was hoping that. Okay, I was confirming that you can hear me, guys. So, yeah. In terms of the project actually and the proposal, I'm working first to familiarize with JavaScript.
Okay.
For me to protect the cause, because my background, my educational background is different. All my skill is kind of different from computer softwares. That is much in the business sector rather than the accounting. Rather than the computer systems and things of that sort. So this is, you just give me time to. I need just first to familiarize, to know some little things on it.
Okay, okay, that's perfectly fine, Shendrak. Thank you so much. Yeah, like I said, today's class is gonna be more about code. I'm gonna actually teach you how to code some calls, some functions. So maybe that will help you to get more familiarized with all of these computer stuff, right? Okay, Shendrak, thank you so much for sharing that with us. Well, let's start with this. Well, first of all, before I start with the actual class, just to remind you guys to get registered on this form. been sending it to you like a bunch of times. But yeah, please register on that form. Like if you are not registered on that form, you won't be able to actually send your or submit your proposal for certification, so you won't be able to get certified. So yeah, I really need you guys to get registered. Even if you think you are not going to get certified, you trust me, if you put the work, you are going to get certified. So just work on it and get registered on this form, please, as soon as possible. Also, I've seen none of you have been talking on Discord. We actually like to see the process. How are you guys doing? Like if you are posting questions, uh, you can see on my screen the questions channel is actually
Niko
empty.
muted.
So
Sikuwa naongea hapa alafu nasikika.
yeah, guys, remember to join Discord. I'm gonna send you the invite again in case you lost it or something like that, like this. And please start posting here your questions and start posting how's your work doing.
Hata watu wengi hawasikii Kiswahili.
If there are silly questions or you think there are silly questions,
Hawaelewi that is not hawasikii.
okay. So okay, Michael Ndwati, you have your hand raised. Can I help you with something?
Yeah, mine is regarding that link. I think we don't have this. What do they call it? We don't have this specific program. Be a developer, the link that you just shared. We only have the professional and analyst.
Okay. Oh, well, the Airtable link is just it's a web browser, and Discord is actually, if you can see, I have it open on my web browser, so you can. It's just a service of chat, so you can just go here, discord.com, create an account, and you could use that. There's an app, you could download it, but I think it's not necessary if there's a web version. So yeah, discord.com, you create your account, and maybe you'll be able to open the link I'm sending, which is this. Because when I know when you open it, it prompts you to open the app. It's not necessary if you have this already open. So yeah. Okay, any other questions you guys have? Justus, go ahead. Justus, you have your hand raised. Hello, Justus. So they can hear me. So if you have any questions, just type them here in the chat, or just start talking, and I'll listen to you. Okay, so that and well, let's keep going with the class. Remember this document, the Notion document. This is your homework. I'm gonna be sending it to you again just in case. And we're on day 3, making tests for Web3. So basically, you got homework. You need to do some unit tests. I'm gonna show you one of the unit tests that we have with the Create New App, because there's actually already a test waiting for that. So yeah, you need to write to 3 to 5 unit tests to each contract listed, and there are a couple contracts listed on the near example. So and all of those have also unit tests, so you can check them out and base your work on that. But as of today's class, that's homework, so I won't touch a lot of that. Today's class is going to be all about code. So yeah, we have this document. This is the file or the project we created yesterday with the create new app command. Remember, we use round npx, create new app, front end, React, and it was called NCD project. We did that, and it create all of these files, and this is basically a content that's already working, right? So we're gonna base all of our work on this contract that's already programmed. If you go to the assembly folder, well, contract assembly, and you're gonna find this file called index.ts. This is the actual contract. This is what this is the file you need to modify, and you need to add your own functions in order for you to compile them and then deploy them on a contract on here. But first, we're gonna program something simple. So I'm just gonna delete all of the comments. Well, before that, there's an important comment here. So learn more about writing your smart contracts with assembly script. So for those of you that are still getting familiarized, kindly after the session avail recordings of yesterday's session for them to catch up. Yeah, I'll make them available. I think they're already available. I checked this morning. I'll check that in a bit. Yeah. This link I just sent you is an introduction on how to write contracts using assembly script. So you can read on that. You can rewatch this session, and I think that's enough material for you to start this coding. And once I do the functions I plan to do today, you'll see how easy it is. It's actually not that hard to use code all of this. So yeah, all of this because it's a lot of load. We don't need it, and we're just gonna comment out this all of that code used to have it as reference, right? Okay, so you see I've deleted almost everything. So that's an empty canvas we can start working on. So, well, let's do a quick project. I'm gonna do a contract where we can get registered on as a student for this near certified developer class for this particular class. Yeah, I'm just gonna export. We need to export this function so the blockchain is able to know that this function you can actually call it. Right? If I don't put export, this is going to be a private function and it's only be working like inside of only the functions inside of this file are going to be able to call that particular function, and we're not going to be able to call that here, right? So that's why we are exporting that function. Export function because it's a function, and then we're gonna set participant. That's how we're gonna call our function. And here in assembly script, it's very similar to TypeScript. We need to specify if that function is going to return something. We don't want this function right now to return anything, so we're just gonna say it's going to void the function. So this function, when it ends executing it, it's not going to return anything, right? So yeah, that's the basic structure, exporting the function and the name of the function, right? So variables to this function. We can see I can hear someone that's Evaline, you want to share something with us? Remember, guys, to mute your microphones, please, just so we don't hear the noise. Or if you have any questions, just raise your hand, please, and I'll get to you in a bit. Okay, so we were saying, well, in order for us to set the participant, we need to know some information. So we're gonna ask for some information to the user via some variables. Like here in this function, it's asking us to send them a variable call message, and it's of type string. So for a participant, I need their name. So I guess I'll type out name and it's string. Then maybe account for their new account. Oh, and maybe their age, and it's going to be a unsigned integer because we don't need signs for an age. You can have -2 years or something like that. That's not possible. So yeah, we're asking for some information. I'm gonna switch this to here. You'll see in a moment why. Okay, so we're gonna make a function that's called ser participant, and it's going to ask us for our account, for our name, and for our age. Right. Now, this participant would fit well in an object, right? So I'm just gonna create an object, class, well, a class rather, participant. Let me remember how to create a class. I actually don't use that much assembly script, so I have my code here. Okay. Well, this class is going to have a name that's type string. It's going to have a well, count is of type string, and this will have an age of type unsigned 64 bits. And this could be smaller, I think. So let's just reduce it, I guess. Okay, so we have this class. However, there are some quirkiness, or the blockchain doesn't know how well this participant, what's a participant, what that is. So we need to actually add something in order for the blockchain to recognize that this is a structure that can be deserialized. What does all of this mean? So basically, when you get this data type called participant from the blockchain will know, oh, this is a participant. I can put it inside of this class, right? And all of this will make sense for the blockchain. So in order for us to achieve that, we need to add something called a decorator nearby here. So every time you create a class, you need to add this at the very top of the declaration of the class. Okay, so if you don't know what a decorator is or anything like that, this is like a very technical thing. Just know that each time you create a class, you need to put that decorator right on top, right? Don't stress too much about it. If you create a class, put that decorator in there, and that should be it, and it should work. So that's it. So now we got our class called participant, and we have our function that sets a participant, but this function doesn't do anything right now. So let's keep going. Well, we already have our class. Let's instantiate it. Let's create an object based on this class with these attributes, right? So I'm gonna say let, that's gonna create a variable that I'm gonna be able to edit later. Participant equals a new participant, and that's it. I just created this variable is based on all of this class, and it has all of these attributes, right? Okay, so now we can edit them. Since we declare the variable with let, we can edit it. An example of a variable that's declared and you cannot edit with after declaring it, it's this one that had the boilerplate contract. It's declared as a constant, as const, right? So this variable, you cannot edit it once you declare it. This value that it has, hello, that's the variable, that's the value rather that's gonna have for all of the variable life, right? So we declare it with let in order for us to be able to actually edit this variable. And we're gonna do just that. So participant, and to access one of the attributes of that variable, you need to put a dot. And you can see the IntelliSense is actually auto-completing this. Uh, we know that we have an account, that's right here, a name, that's right here, and an age, that's right here. So we're gonna put account. The account is going to be equal to this account that that the user just sent us. So, yeah. And the same with the other attributes. Account name, it's equal to name, and participant age, it's equal to the age that the user sent us. And that's it. Now we are receiving our information and we're putting it on a variable that the blockchain understands, right? But we're putting it there, but are we storing it? I don't think we are storing this information. We're just putting it on a variable, but we're not saving it, right? So we're gonna do that next. Okay, so you can, well, the way I would recommend you guys to go about it is using a collection. A collection are basically variables that can store a lot more variables, like an array, like a list, like a map. Those are examples about variables that can store more variables of the same type. I'm gonna send you guys a link about just this. Have a bunch of tabs open. Yeah, this one. If you guys want to know about a bit more about collections, you can read up on this one. If you guys want to choose a particular collection for your project, oops, you can also read up on that. If you guys want to see the ones that already exist, well, I'm gonna explain you a bit. So assembly script collection types. Here in assembly script, we have there are 6 collections: persistent vector, persistent set, persistent map, unordered map, the queue, and a tree. So all of these collections have different properties. Uh, Also, that's too technical. We won't get a lot into it, but just know that some of the operations you make with some of the collections are faster to do than in some other than the other, right? So, for example, here insert clear. Well, technically, here a persistent vector is, this is also too technical, but all one know that this is the fastest, well, basically the fastest, there are faster things, but this is the fastest thing you can get on a collection. So if you see all one, you just know that, oh, this is really, really fast, right? And things like ON, N means that it needs to traverse through the whole collection to if you have a list with 100 variables, in order to do this particular thing, it needs to traverse between all of the 100 items in that list in order to do that, right? So ON is technically fast, but this one is faster, right? So for example being here in persistent vector, here it says insert O1, but it has right a mark right here. And this means basically this O1 can turn into an ON. So this that's fast, can turn into a slower operation. Some other collections here don't have that, like for example being here on our map, it's always O1, it doesn't have this. So I think it would be better to use this one because all of this is constant, right? But they all have their also their weaknesses as a collection. Example being here, if you want to add something on a persistent collection that's a map, you see how much gas or how much processing power it's using, and that compared to an order map, That and this one uses a lot more, so it's actually a bit more expensive to use. So and you can see the comparison with the three. So yeah, again, if this is too complex for you, don't stress a lot about it. This is like more technical, but I wanted to mention that all of these functions, while they may seem like every function does the same, they do it in a different way that some make work better than others at some cases. Just know that and don't stress a lot about it. We're gonna be using this one, persistent unordered map, because that's pretty easy to use. And I want to make this easy for you guys, right? So I need to actually use declare this persistent map. I don't remember how to do that, so we're gonna declare a const and and it equal to a new persistent unordered map that is copied and pasted. And this map requires two things: requires a key and requires a variable that we're gonna be storing. Right? And this is some technicality. You need to actually put a here. So the blockchain recognizes this structure as its own structure. If I do something like
As in, unafanya
this,
computer
and I
programming.
put participant list, and I leave this P at the same as here, this is going to substitute this variable. So you gotta be careful. If I don't want to, I don't want this. I wanted this list to be a different list. I would.
Unasema nini?
Imagine
niko serious
whatever, right?
ninasoma.
So
Bushi
just be careful with that. And here's asking me to actually ignore it. So I'm just going to put it right there.
Nasoma kukod.
So Elena, I don't know how to pronounce your name. You got your mic open, so if you want to share something with us or you want to mute your microphone. Elena Asna or Elena Asna.
Hajafika.
Guys, please remember to mute your microphones so we can keep going with the class. Okay, so we got already our participant list. We know that if this is what gives it a name, like what gives it like an identity inside of the blockchain. If something else has this name also, some other map, this is going to get substituted. So we don't want that. We always want to procure to have different indexes, right? Okay, so now we can save something here. So participant list. And the way we save is also with a dot. And there's all of the methods we can use with this particular function. We're gonna use set in order to save the variable we want to save. So set, it says it needs this is the key. This is basically the unique value this is going to have. So we're gonna use, we have to use a string. So we're gonna use the account because the accounts are unique here in here, right? So account is going to be the key, and then we need a participant. We just created a participant here. So let's say that participant, and that's it. We are saving some information to the blockchain. That was really easy, I think. Now we're gonna send some confirmation to the user, and we do it with this function. Now I need to actually import it. So yeah, login log, register created successfully, and smiley face. And that's pretty much it. This is a quick function that is actually interacting with the blockchain via a persistent collection. Why is this collection? Basically, every time you save a value to this collection, to this variable, is automatically being written to the blockchain. That's what the persistent collections do. So you don't have to actually worry about setting because here, like storage set, the way this function work is pretty different to what we are doing. So that's I think that this is easier for the project. So I think you guys should use this. I'll be posting this code for you guys later, so you can base maybe your work on this. However, I really encourage you guys to add something else. Not because I'm sharing this code means that we can just change the name of the variables and make it like our code, and that should be enough for me to get certified. No, I actually would like you guys to add something else to this code. I'll be adding another function, don't worry about this, but yeah, you should add more functions. You should add your own flair to this project, right? So yeah, okay, we're gonna test if this actually works because we don't know, we haven't built it. So npm run build. Remember, we need to build before deploying. So if I made any changes here and I save them, we need to build them or compile them to WebAssembly in order for me to send that WebAssembly to the blockchain. So we're gonna run npm run build. Okay, this takes a while, so we're gonna wait it out. And in the meantime, does anybody have a question? Are you guys understanding how to code? So I want to see if anybody has their hand raised. Justus is still with their hand raised. Justus, can you hear us now? Is there anything you want to ask?
Yes, I wanted to ask when you are initializing the data types, I see that like account, you initialize as a string, and normally in other other language like age will be integer. So I wanted to know in this case, how comes this age you have assigned, you have initialized as U32? So I wanted to get a clarification. Or apart from string, are there any other data types that you can initialize?
Yeah, there are a bunch of data types. Here on your Notion document, let me remember where is it. I saw it somewhere in here. Documentation. Well, this is the assembly script official documentation. I'm gonna be sending it to you. If you saw, I actually found it here on your Notion. So here, this is the official documentation, and we can see all of the data types that assembly script has. So there are a bunch. I'm gonna see if I can find them. Like you can see, well, here integers are actually represented like this. This is by the letter I and the size of it. So this is an integer of 32 bits. Something similar is the age I use here, but instead of an integer, I use an unsigned. What's the difference? Integers can be negative, unsigned, but because they don't have a sign, they cannot be negative. They always are just a number. So here, because we're using this variable to represent the age of a participant, we don't need it to be like -2 years, right? So we don't need that. That's why I use a unsigned. So if I wanted it to be an integer, I will just change that, and this is an integer, and that's as easy as it gets. And the other data types, like here, right? The types, these are all of the types you can use here in the assembly script. So I'm gonna be sending you this link, and you can check it out. This comes. Okay, they say my volume is kind of low. Yeah, let me adjust it. Okay, Hope that's better. I'll try to speak up as well, so just in case. But yeah, like I said, I use send you that link. You can check all of the data types that assembly script uses, and you can choose whatever works best for whatever you're trying to do at that particular time, right? So remember, all of this documentation, you don't have to Google it. You can find it. We gather it right here for you on your Near Hispano Notion document that I've been sending you guys a few times. So yeah, okay, let's keep going. This already finished building, so we know that this code is built and it's ready to be sent to the blockchain. So I want to send it to the blockchain as a new account. Remember, yesterday we saw these near dev accounts that if I want to have a new account for testing, I just can delete this folder. And if I run near dev deploy, so I'm gonna actually do it here because this is bigger. Near dev deploy, and then it's asking me for a file, and the file is on the folder contract, then build, and then release. Build, release, and it's called greater that wasn't. Greater that wasn't. So once I run this command, it's going to create a new dev deploy account, right? So we click enter and it generates a new folder. This folder has our account. Well, it hasn't generated yet. There it is. This is the account all of that code is going to be deployed to, right? So this is the contract. So this is, we saw yesterday, this is the same as my account at that testnet is an account like this one, but you can see these accounts as disposable accounts. You can create as many as you want. They all have 200 near tokens for you to use on testnet. So they're pretty useful. So we know that this code was deployed to this account. If you see, this number is the same as this number or this account. So that means we now can call our method, right? The set participant method we just created, we can call it here. I'm gonna clear the console and we're just gonna use near and call. We're gonna write to the blockchain. So we're gonna use call. Near call and the name of the contract, that's all of that thing. Near call and the name of the method, set participant. Set participant. Then we send a JSON with the information we need to send. It's asking me for my account, and that's equal to okay. It's asking me for my name. So we send name. My name is Isaac Klassen. And it's asking me for my age. So my age is 27 years. Okay, this is since I'm using an unsigned like a number with no sign. Assembly script is asking me to send it between these things. I don't remember the names in English, but if I would use an integer, I wouldn't need this. I could send the number like this or like this, right? That would be negative. But since I'm using an unsigned number, I need to send them this way. And remember, we are making a call. We need to sign this transaction. So I'm gonna tell the blockchain to sign this transaction with my account, right? So I know that's a lot of stuff, but I hope it's clear. I'm gonna send you this code because this you can actually Just put your information here and here and there. Age of time. Okay, it's telling me it's not an integer. Did I? Let me send it as an integer then. Yeah, that was it. Okay, so there's a typo there. Register created successfully. This is what we wrote here. Let me change it. Okay, so you can see we just made some code. We compiled it with npm run build, and then we deployed it with near def deploy and the route of the file, right? And that's it. We just created a function that writes to the blockchain. How can we see that? Remember, we can see it on explorer.testnet.org. If I actually look up for my account, or there's actually a link right here, we can just click. And this will show you the actual transaction on testnet. So it will load. And look, I signed this transaction. Well, this account signed it. It says it actually succeeded. It said that I sent this information. I sent account, I sent name, and I sent my age, right? So everything you did, you can see it here on the actual blockchain. This is actually interacting with the blockchain. So that's really good. Now, how can I view it? Let's do a quick read method because I'm running out of time. So export function, the standard stuff. Now I'm gonna call it get participant, and it's going to require an account, and I'm gonna use a string again. And this is going to return a participant. See, remember, this one is type void because it's not returning anything, but I want this to return a participant, so I'm gonna put that. So basically, you just need to put return, call the participant list, call the get method, and we need a key. So in this case, we know that we're using the account as the key. So we want to put that get account. And this method actually can return null if it doesn't find it. So we need to put this in here. So I'm telling the function it can return a participant, or this means or it can return a null value. So that was fast. Let's see if it actually works. So remember, this is we're even though we're sending a variable here, we're only viewing, like we're only using this method that views some information on the blockchain. So we're not actually writing anything. There's no method that's saving anything here. We're just viewing. So this operation is going to be a view method, and this won't get registered on the blockchain because we're only visualizing information. And we don't need to actually sign that transaction because we're not writing anything to the blockchain. Unlike this one that we're actually writing with this method, is actually saving some information to the blockchain, and we're actually writing that information, right? So we're gonna wait it out. Remember, guys, you can use the Explorer to check all of the transactions and check, like, maybe if you have a mistake, you can see what information you are actually sending to the blockchain in order for you to like maybe debug some error you may have, or maybe if you just want to see how the blockchain is actually treating your information. Whatever you need, you can use the Explorer. I'm gonna send that link to you guys. So that's it. And you can use look for an account, and You can actually use the accounts the dev account we just created. You can actually put it right in here and see all of the stuff that this account is doing. So we know that it has received three transactions. This is the tokens it has, and these are the methods that another accounts have called. So my account called a method in this contract. And my account got called another method in this contract, right? So you can see all of the information of that particular account or that particular contract. So yeah, this just finished building. Let's dev deploy again. So it's gonna use the same command, and that should be it. So now I can near view the name of the account, get participant. Yeah, that's how it's called. It's asking me for a variable called account. We're gonna say account equals to a classing that test. And we don't need to sign it because again, we're just viewing information. And you see it returns the object called participant with the properties we just set here. The account, the name, and the age. We say account, name, and age, and even in the same order. So that's it. We just created two methods, one that writes to the blockchain, one that reads the information on the blockchain. And this is actually pretty different from this because this one was using the storage and you guys just learn how to use the persistent maps or persistent collections. So I think this one is actually better. There's another quick thing I want to show you guys. Here I'm sending my account, but technically if I'm signing with my account, maybe this information is redundant, right? So we can just delete it. And there's something really magical about the new library that's called context. Context gives me all of the information of the blockchain. So we need to import that function. So this context has a lot of properties. In this case, we can access them by writing context dot. We're gonna look for the sender. Who is sending this transaction? And this would substitute the account property that we are using. We don't need to send it. Anytime somebody calls this method, it's going to get signed. Well, it's going to register whoever is signing this transaction. And I don't really have time for testing that. Just trust me, it works. I'll send you this code in a bit, guys, so you can make your own tests. And that's pretty much it for this class. We just created two methods. We deployed them to another developer account, and we just created another developer account in order for us to deploy that. If you want another developer account, just delete this folder, and once you run the near dev deploy command, it's going to generate a new folder with a new account, empty account, where you can make a lot of more tests as you see fit. So that's it, guys. Next, remember to read the Notion. You guys have homework. I forgot to mention that the tests, you will need to check out the unit tests here in this contract that we just created are on the contract folder assembly, and there's a folder called tests. And if you open this, no, this one, this file, you'll see the test. Right now it's giving me an error because I deleted the methods. If you remember, the methods that it had were commented out here, and I deleted them. So it's showing me an error. But if you want to check out the test, most of the projects that are on the examples page of NEAR have unit tests. So yeah, guys, do your homework, do some code, and I hope this class was useful for you guys to get used again to all of the way we are going to be programming our project. And if you see, it's actually quite simple. This is a contract, a simple contract. We can see all of the other examples, and you can maybe build a more complete contract using all of the information from one and another, right? So that'll be it for me, guys. Thank you so much for coming. I really hope this was helpful to you. And well, that's all by my part, right? See you guys tomorrow, and thank you for coming.
Thank you, Isaac. Bye.
Can see Winnie is raising her hand. Maybe she has a question.
Oh yeah, Winnie, go ahead.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. I wanted clarification on the setter method. You've used a setter method on the annotated map. So I was asking about the setter method. Does it have specific parameters that it takes, or it's I don't know if
Okay.
you've gotten the question. Yeah.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Let me share my screen. Okay. So this method, right? The set. Is this one the one you want to know about, Winnie?
That one, yes.
Okay. Yeah. Basically, the way this map works, it's two variables. You need a unique value. So that's the first parameter you're sending to that map, and then you need the variable that you are going to store. This variable can be the same as other, or maybe this attribute can be the same as other accounts. Maybe, for example, I have two different accounts and I want to register on the same map. Well, I can register one account and then another because that's the unique value, and then I would put the name would be my same name, right? I don't have to change it because this value can be equal to other values inside of the map. But this one needs to be unique. So this is just the way it's you need to declare it. You need to declare persistent on our map a unique value or the type of unique value. Since we are going to use the account and we know that the account is a string, we just put a string here, and then the value that can be that cannot be unique. It doesn't matter, or the value you are storing. So in this case, we're storing the participant class we just created. And then when we send that value, we use the set, and then we send the account. Well, I deleted it, but just pretend it's still here. We send the account, that's our unique value, and then we send the variable that has all of this. So that's the way it works. If, for example, I would run this command 2 times in a row, like let's do a quick example. So we know that my unique value is a class in that testnet, right? And look, my name, when I consulted the name here, is a class. Let's change it to, now I want to be called Mr. Klassen, but I'm using the same account, right? What's gonna happen? Okay. We're gonna be calling this method. Wait for it. Done. And we're gonna view that same account, a class in that test. We're gonna click enter, and look how it changed. It changed to Mr. Klassen. Why? Because I use the unique value again, right? That value just modified this information, okay? So even though I saved it like this, since I ran this code with, again, using the same unique value, then it modified my register that was already there. So that's why you need to understand that this value needs to be unique, right? So that's pretty much it. I don't know if it's clear enough, Winnie.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, great. Any other questions you guys may have? Sorry. That's it. Most people are leaving already. So yeah, have fun, guys. I really hope you get certified. I really hope to see more of your projects tomorrow and start working. Right. So thank you so much for coming.